Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sam and this is the Crafty Blinders van build, and today we're connecting up all the dots. We've got everything we need to make hot water, we just need to get it round the van. And today's video is about the pumped system. This video is to explain how we tie in all the systems associated with the hot water and the cold water system. So this is our shower floor pump. It's a great bit of kit. It has a 12-volt supply to it, and how it works is when the pressure drops on it, it fires up the pump and the pump will run. So when you open a tap, or if I open this valve here, I've released the pressure there a little bit, and that is the drain off point, by the way. So that's just dumped it on the drive. That, as soon as you drop the pressure, this pumps it back up to the required pressure. Brilliant bit of kit. Okay, it's a little bit noisy, but it is what it is. You have to make sacrifices if you're going to want pumped water and fresh water, but it's not that noisy that you wouldn't install it. So let's just recap on what we've got here. This is our supply from our freshwater tank, and this is pumped up through this gauze filter, then down into the pump and then around the system. Now here we have a one-way valve, and this feeds back to our hot water pump. Okay, let's just pause it there for a second. I did say hot water pump. What I should have said was hot water heater. Sorry about that. Just got pumps on the brain. Let's get back to the video. So up and around and in. And then coming away from the hot water pump is our hot water. So this is our drain point, and we should drain it down here in winter. This cable that still needs connected is for my pumped flush on my toilet. Very posh, I know. I need to stick this cable back. I've just been messing about with it today, so I just need to stick that back, and that is the switch supply for the pump. So when we park up and drain down, I can turn the pump on and off there. Before you get to this point, and at various stages in the van build, you're going to have to run these pipes, and they're probably going to have to sit there for a long time before you actually do anything with them. So when you install them, cleat them back. You know, these are nice little pipe clips. Bought them off eBay, and they're very good at what they do. Try not to leave any connections where you can't get to them. All my connections are visible, and this is for a very, very easy reason. If they leak, you want to be able to access them. Now look there, we've got a little bit of water sat on there. I don't know if that's a leak. That's the first time I've seen that, and that could have been from when the system first pressurized. But if you look, see how this is sat forward and this one isn't? There's absolutely no gap there, is there? There's a bit of a gap on that one. There's no gap on this one. Look at that. We're talking about the system, and I'm finding little problems with it already. So that's not actually leaking. There's no drips. You know, there's dust on the floor, so it's not been getting there. So not been going anywhere. But yeah, you'll pull the pipe work in, and you'll let it sit. So when you come to connect it all up, you need to be very vigilant. Check your joints, pressurize it up section by section if you want to. But what I did was I connected everything, and because it's so accessible, I just powered the system right up, and this video will show you that. This is a selection of the equipment that I used. I went with John Guest 10mm pipe. Chose John Guest because it's got a good reputation. It's very, very practical. It's good in all weathers, so -5 degrees or whatever it is, you know, this stuff will still perform. It won't split, it won't leak. I use some cheaper fittings, and I also use some proper John Guest stuff as well. Different areas in the van, you'll see that there's a mixture of different fittings. A handy piece of kit to have is one of these. This is a conduit cutter. You can cut plastic conduit with it. You can cut pipe with it. You can cut the heavy rigid conduit as well with it. Ideal bit of kit to have. I can't remember the price of that. I've had that about 20 years, so they're out there on the internet anyway. That's a cheap, good bit of kit to have, and it's practical. And if you're stuck one day in the garden, you can also cut limbs off trees with it. But I wouldn't recommend that if you wanting to use it all the time. So 10mm John Guest. This here is the most vital part of the installation. So that slots inside there, and see that little barb? That there helps retain it. So before you insert your insert, make sure that this edge is pretty square. And again, there's no effort involved, really. Look, see, that was dead easy, wasn't it? You know, does leave a little imprint. But that's how simple it is. Push the insert in and get your piece. Now this isn't John Guest. This is made by another company. It's actually a pneumatic fitting, but pneumatic and water at this pressure, you won't have any problems. So it is. If you look inside there, it's heavily barbed. That bites onto the end of here, and when you push this blue ring in, it takes the barbs off, allowing you to release it. I'll show you that again. So we push that in, and when the system pressurizes, it'll kick out a little bit. And as it kicks out, it allows this piece here to slide back out. So just make sure that's all the way home. Right, to remove it, we just pull it out, and you can see some little marks where the barbs have sat in. But inside there, this bit here will seal up. The pressure forces that back, and it seals up in here as well. That is it. These fittings, you can put a screw through there as well. Ideal for retaining it while you're installing it, because like I said before, you will have to put this in long before you'll ever finish it off and tidy it up and fit it and test it. So as well to put as much in as you can of the system, screw it back, and then your last final connection, just leave that off so it doesn't get in your way. Again, these T-pieces, they were brilliant. I've used them right through the van. I think I got about 10 in each packet. Well worth the money. I'll put a link in the description to them. I'll put a link in the description to the pipes. This was something I bought in error. So this is described as a John Guest 10mm push fit with stem. What I needed was a barbed stem. So like I showed you on the insert, it has a number of barbs on this. So when you push it into the pipework, it helps retain it and stops it from shooting off under pressure. So bought in error. If anybody wants one, I've got one cheap. In fact, if you make contact, I'll send it to you free. If you have a use for it, it's there. Hope that makes things a little bit easier. Let's get on with the install. So we've applied a bit of sealant to both these edges. We've wiped down the... Oh, that's look weird. We've wiped down the inside of the panel. So let's just get this screwed in. I may have to change them. Possibly going to leak there. Let's get piped up and we'll have a look. So these two pipes here are what go to the kitchen. Now they're ran in a little channel. I'll just peel that back for you. Have a look at. They're running a little channel under the floorboards in the insulation, and we've never had a problem. So from here, the connection is just there. Sorry. From here to the sink, there is no break in that line. It is one continuous line. You don't want to have a leak under your floor. You don't want to have any issues with water running underneath your insulation. And if you do ever get a leak, you will smell it. Kingspan, if you've used Kingspan, that is, stinks when it's wet. It smells like fish. This line here goes to our toilet, and that's what will flush our toilet when I get it connected up. And these two are for our shower. So we have our John Guest connections, tap connectors, and then push into you. And sometimes when you're buying these fittings, you think to yourself, that's a lot of money for a little bit of plastic. But the convenience that it gives you, at any time, if you've got a problem or you need to drain down your system, you can just disconnect it there. Take the pressure off the system, drain it down at the drain down point, and then just push that in and pull the pipework apart. As I said earlier, you may have to wait weeks after installing these pipes to the point where you make them off. These pipes here were for our kitchen, and even though we knew where the kitchen was going to go, I kept changing the design on a daily basis until I settled with one that I was happy with. The original design was for an insert sink, but it was quite big with a glass top, and I thought that would look really old and outdated, so I went with something else. It doesn't want to play ball. Hey, we're there. Right. A little feel. As I've said in the past, you sometimes have to keep your designs and ideas fluid, because you will change your mind as you're going along, and sometimes it's for the better. Sometimes you might make a bad decision. There's only you going to know that. In the end, I believed changing the design to a round sink, which is what we put in the end, is far better for what we want to use it for in the end. We had no counter space. We had a cooker top with a glass top, and then we're going to have this huge sink with another glass top, and really nowhere to prep food or just lay stuff out. So in the end, I believe we made the right choice, and hopefully you'll agree. There we go. £1 for them. When you're tightening up the tap connections, resist the temptation to over tighten them. They just need a little nip and they're sealed as the rest. So these, I believe I should shorten these a little bit. Yeah, we'll take a little bit off these. Once the pipework was shortened to the required length, it's just a matter of putting 2 new inserts in. Try not to reuse inserts, because this is the point where potentially your system could fail. So use new parts each time. if you look closely, the braided hoses are also colour coded, so it's just a matter of putting the red one on the red and the blue on the blue. It's that straightforward. Time to install the sink. I'm going to be honest with you here. This sink nearly didn't make it into the van. It took so long to install. Those clips that are on it, oh, they were feeble. Every time I tightened one up, one would break. In the end, I ended up ordering 20 new ones just to fit this sink. And I said to myself, if I break any more, it's not going in. I'll find an alternative. But in the end, we got there, we persevered, and I think it looks good. Right, moment of truth. We've been messing around with this water system for quite a while now. I've got the pump in, I've got all the pipework done, the shower's done, and the sink's done now. A little bit of a job to do on the waste, but here goes. Let's let's switch it on, see if we've got any leaks. Let's adjust this. So we've had a bit of reconfiguration. I'll pack that out, just sit it off a little bit. Basically, we have reconnected all this lot, added 2 T's in there, and that's everything connected up. So now it's a moment of truth. I've checked all the valves, made sure everything's closed. It's now time to prime the pump. There we go, first leak. For some reason we have a leak. It's kind of where I expected it to be one. Another leak there. Oh my god, we're not doing too well, are we? So, kind of expected a leak there. The simple fact, these aren't very long. So I need something. I need something better than these. Let's relieve the pressure on that. We have a leak on this elbow. Every now and then the motor gives a start up, and at first I thought this was maybe just some little glitch in the system, but obviously this joint here is passing, so in turn that'll drop the pressure. So it's not a major leak. Is that, you know, it's next to nothing. I saw a little drop there on the floor and thought, wonder where that's come from. And I felt this pipe, that was dry. I felt this one from this edge, it was wet. So we've traced it back to here. You can see there. It is quite... I'm just going to wait and see if the system pressurizes again. I've moved these pipes around quite a bit this morning, so you know it could be something very simple as I've maybe loosened this this connection up. So the pump's off. Taking a little bit of pressure off the system. This is the winter drain down point. I'm going to pop that under there. And let's break this. Try and do it one-handed. Not sure why that connection's failed. Have a little look at it. In the end, I got it pushed back together one-handed and knocked the camera off at the same time. So let's get the floor dry. So we'll see if anything leaks. Right, pressure. Sometimes it's just a quick disconnection and reconnection to gain the seal back here. A little bit of dirt could have got lodged in there, but we may need to change this fitting. It does seem to be passing. Yeah, it's passing. 10. So if I do that, it's like opening a tap. But basically, we'll take a bit of pressure off with that after we turn the pump off. Right, I'll go and get a new fitting for there, and we shall get a dry cloth as well. So there we go, it's priming up. No leaks so far. Oh, should we... We've got water there. Oh my god. No leaks, no leaks. It's taking a while to pressurise though. Oh, it'll be filling that tank, won't it? 10 litre tank there, so should be filling that. I can hear some noises. See what we've got here. Pressurising again. Very nervous. The last thing I want in this van is water, so let's fingers crossed that's a healthy sound. Bit of air in the system. Just keep repeating this until we'll do the shower first. That's the closest point on the hot circuit. Hopefully that's all the air through. I'm happy with that. Get the shower out of that, no problem at all. Oh, let me trace off. Nice. Yeah. That's stored up there. I'll just fold that behind there. Right, off to the sink now. Which side's hot? Did somebody? So cut out there. There we are, cold, hot. Here there's some marks on it somewhere. That's brilliant. I did have a little bit of water in here before. I'd pressurised the system quickly and then realised I hadn't done work on the shower. And also, and this is our connection for the flush on the toilet. Pretty straightforward, just a cold feed and a 12 volt power supply. Inside the toilet cubicle, there's just another push connection. Now we had to change the one that come with the toilet, and we bought just another John Guest one, a barbed fitting that pushed into the pipework. We had to warm the pipework up. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger, but it does the job. It works perfect. So, success. All that hard work's paid off. All the joints have been checked. Got no leaks. System pressurises and runs. The level gauges are working on the water tank. I've run that much water through it. From a full tank, I've probably got a quarter left. So, yeah, I'm really happy with everything now. So, on to the next job. Don't know what that is yet, but we're on to the next job anyway. Thanks for watching. And if you've got any questions, please contact us at Facebook or on Instagram. We love your comments and we try to answer everybody. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please consider liking and subscribing and even sharing it with your friends. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.